So it's a beautiful day. I'm about 5,000 feet above Albany in a little plane. And the girl who just pushed me out is screaming, wait, your chute! And then she's gone, like with the wind. And the rest of the sentence is gone. I don't hear it, and I don't think it ends, functioning properly. No problem. I think it ends, worse than that. I was in my 40s, but I didn't want to be one of these kind of midlife guys who runs out and buys a convertible. Besides, who needs two convertibles? But I needed something, something, more than like a hair weave, which actually became a consideration one day when I found this kind of round pink patch on the top of my head, the shape, size, and texture of a slice of bologna, covered in sort of thin, wispy brown, like mold. Up there, I was 23 years old. And then I was 30, and then I was 40, and then I was in my 40s. So it was time to get younger. And I drove up to the Albany Skydiving Academy, upstate, to meet Annette, the school's khaki-shorted, bare-bellied, adorable 19-year-old senior instructor. She looked like a lowercase I with a smiley dot face. I was like in capital O. So I am watching the pilot out in the runway playing hacky sack, and Annette says, "This is going to be awesome." And then she tells me I have pretty eyes, and she hands me the liability waiver. And instead of kind of, being Darwinian and just going to a bowling alley right then, I sign it because she is just so excited for me. And we go outside and she says, we're going to start the 2-hour lesson with a landing because, and she kind of pokes me in the ribs, most times it's not the fall that gets you, it's the sudden stop, which is a joke to kind of put me at ease. It doesn't work. So she kicks over this kind of blue plastic milk crate, tells me to get up, and it's wobbly. I have to hold onto her shoulder, and tells me to jump. And I jump, and my feet kick up these 2 little puffs of dust. It's like Neil Armstrong. And she laughs, and she gives me the thumbs up. She says, like I have the right stuff. And then she shows me how to do a drop and roll, which is kind of what it sounds like as you drop to the ground and you roll into the dust, kind of like what you do when you're on fire. She does one like a Romanian gymnast and tells me to get up and do one. And she says, she helps me up. She says, just hop on the bus, Gus. And I think, her parents must listen to Paul Simon. I feel a connection. So I say, I'm a rock, and I drop like a stone. And she laughs, and she helps me up, and she helps me get the gravel out of my, pebbles out of the palms of my hand. And she says that's pretty much all there is to it, which would be true if she were teaching me how to jump off a milk crate and out of an airplane. So for the next hour and a half, we go from the milk crate to a wooden kitchen chair, to a wooden painter's ladder, to 5,000 feet above sea level. Of course, she kind of, tightens my helmet, looks at me through my foggy goggles, and, says, jump nice for me, and I'm nodding because she's just so adorable. And then she shows me the static line, which is this canvas strap that is supposed to automatically yank my chute open as soon as I jump. She tugs on it a couple of times to prove that it can kind of take the upper body strength of a teenage girl. And then, and she says, once we get into position, I'm going to say go, and I'm going to pat you on the back. When I do that, you just go. And she says, don't worry, I'll be gentle. Between, the altitude and the pillow talk, I'm like in a trance. I will do anything. And then she helps me out onto the little platform under the wing, and I can feel her hand in my back. It feels like kind of a kitten's paw through the, through the jumpsuit. When I look down and I see all these kind of chimneys and pointy, pine trees down there, it's all beginning to weaken. But when she says go and gives me a little shove, I go for her. And then she starts screaming, wait, your chute, it's... And the kind of pathetic inadequacy of a 2-hour lesson kind of dawns on me. And I'm looking down at the power lines down there, and I'm kind of reflexively squeezing my legs together so I don't land like two flounders on the ground and die that way. And I am hoping that my life doesn't flash before my eyes, because I don't want to ruin my last few seconds. Trying to be positive. If it occurred to me, I would have realized, well, at least I'm not going to be getting any older. Positive. And then all of a sudden, this kind of loop of canvas static line flashes past my head, and it pulls taut, and it yanks my chute out, and I'm kind of spun around, and I'm hanging under this beautiful, big, fluffy, white canopy. It's really beautiful, and it is really quiet, so I can really hear my heart pounding. Now, when I land, she's already down there waiting for me, beaming. She has a little plastic champagne glass with the complimentary, sparkling wine they talk about. And I kind of drag all my shit over the straps and the helmet, the chute, and I say, "What the?" And she giggles. And she says, "Well, you look like you're a cool guy, and I wanted to make sure you had like an awesome job." And the little thing with the malfunctioning parachute was just to spike your adrenaline. I had learned it from a bungee jumping friend of mine. And I didn't do you have any idea how dangerous that was, how terrifying it was? And she says, "Hey, well, you did it, right? You're fine. You did it at least before it's too late." And before it's too late, that's worse than pushing me out of a plane. So I'm staring at her, trying to think of something to say, but as I'm staring, I kind of remember I just jumped out of a plane, and I kind of fell a mile without dying, most of it without a parachute, as far as I was concerned. I did it on purpose, and now I want to do it again. Because, the little joke she told, maybe it was right, it's not the fall that gets you, it's the sudden stop, so now I want to do it again. And I sign up for another jump. And I give her the finger, and we both laugh, and I drive off with the top down. But I'm not crazy, I never went back. But I eventually fell into something else, something equally as terrifying, just as kind of rejuvenating, doing this kind of thing. Thank you.